Hi, everyone. Yesterday, I got a question from Europe. The question is, how can we live happily everyday life? This is the first question. Second question is, how Vipassana meditation, can help in a daily life? These two questions. And these two questions are really interesting for me too. And because I am always living by practicing Vipassana meditation, by the wisdom of Vipassana meditation that I try to develop every day. Therefore, these questions are really wonderful questions to me. First thing, that how we should live happily in everyday life, then I want to answer. We have to know that life itself is really, really very much conditioned. That we are not possible to always live happily. We are not possible to always live happily in the life. Because, as I said, life itself is very, very conditioned. And we have to face and confront every day. There's happy and unhappy phenomena, and negative and positive phenomena in everyday life. How can we be happy in that conditioned life, full of negative and positive phenomena, surrounded by negative and positive phenomena, and happy and unhappy situations around us? How can we live happy? Most of the people try to create happy life by hiding their unhappy feeling, by hiding their embarrassed or shameful part of their life, and negative part of their life, and bad part of their life. By hiding, they try to create a happy life. It is almost impossible. It's not real happy. It's not really happiness, real happiness. Real happiness must come from that makes you truly happy. That should be unconditioned. That should be purified by understanding or more accepting wisely both the happy and unhappy conditions and negative and positive phenomena. And this is the way that we live. Most of the people try to create a happy life, even if they have that kind of bad feeling, bad negative feeling, and that bitter experiences. They try to hide those kind of that bitter, bad, evil, unhappy feeling of their mind, and try to create, on the other hand, try to create a happy life. This is not the way, not practical way. You know, that you can try to live happily, but it's not blameworthy, but it's not real life. But real life is you have to just face, accept wisely when you have to accept that negative, and you have to also wisely accept when you have to accept positive, when you experience with the positive and negative. And some people are living always at the end, at the edge of negative, pessimistic opinion. Some people live another edge of optimistic opinion of life. Both are not really blameworthy, but both are not really correct way of living in a true life. According to the Buddha's teaching, we have to avoid both happy and unhappy edge of life and happy and unhappy end of life. We have to just face reality, what happened at the moment in the life. We shouldn't be afraid of facing negative, phenomena. At the same time, we shouldn't be we shouldn't be so much extremely happy by grasping happy condition or state of positivity or state of happy condition. We are suffering between the grasping and rejecting. This is why we need the way of life. When the Buddha came to the world, when the Buddha got enlightened, he started teaching us how we should live. And the Buddha always tried to live in the middle. Don't go to the negative side of the life, and don't go positive side of life. But face them, the reality. If you experience negative side of life, please accept wisely and see as they are and let them go. And come back in the middle again. And when you experience positive side of life and happy condition of life, face it wisely as it is. And it will be changed, because this is condition. This is condition. Happy state of mind is condition. Unhappy state of mind is condition. Angry state of mind is condition. Happy state of mind is condition. Disappointment is condition. Undisappointment is condition. These are condition, because we are living in the condition phenomena. This is called in Pali sankhara. We live in the condition phenomena. Sankhara, loka. So we have to be happy and unhappy. We have to experience both happy and unhappy, positive and negative. We shouldn't be afraid of it. You understand? Because this is the question, how we should live happily. When the Buddha came into the world, the Buddha himself, everybody knows he's a Prince Siddhartha, a very wealthy guy in the world, and very well educated and very appreciated guy to the music, art, and literature, everything. He's really perfect man in the world, materially. He's very extremely wealthy guy in the world before he got enlightened. Of course, Prince Siddhartha, everybody knows his history. I don't want to talk about this too much. However, how much is rich? No matter how much is rich, he's also sometimes experience unhappy condition. Sometimes experience happy condition. Sometimes he was experienced with positive condition. Sometimes he was experienced with a negative condition. He doesn't know how to deal with that. But he really wants to understand, how he really want to know. He knows himself how he was rich. But why he is sometimes unhappy, even those kind of wealthy and luxurious and beautiful things surrounded around him. He didn't know why he's unhappy sometimes. This is the reason why he finally tried to left the palace and family, royal family, a beautiful wife and child, and try to find out how we should live. This is the question that you ask, how we should live happily in everyday life. The Buddha tried to explain this. Please live in the middle. Please stay in the middle. Please live in the middle. Please live. I talk about the life of Buddha before he got enlightened. Everybody knows his name is Siddhartha Gautama. Prince Siddhartha lived in Nepal, and now India, Nepal are historical sites of the Buddha's history. There are many pilgrimage went to see those kind of historical sites. I went there also 2014 or 2004. I went to those kind of historic sites of the Buddha in India and Nepal. As you know, the Buddha, I said, very, very wealthy guy, the most wealthy guy in the world. And he has nothing to work when he was alive. And he married a very beautiful girl, Yasodhara. And he had a lovely child, Rahula. Extremely rich. He had nothing to do for a living. He can enjoy life. How to say? He can enjoy life automatically. He didn't need to work anything. How rich he was in his time. And he lived very royal and luxurious and very wealthy condition. He should be happy. But you can ask, how many people in the world, how many rich people in the world are happy? You can ask question. Those kind of rich people, wealthy people are not really happy. They have wealth, they have money, cannot make them happy. I know. And I myself try to leave everything to become a monk, enjoy that spiritual, spiritual life of happiness. When you have nothing, when you let go of everything, then you start feeling happy. This is ability. I abandoned my father, my family, my mother, my sisters, and also my degree education. And I enjoy the monastic life. And now I have been practicing for 30 years, more than 30 years as a monk. And I have practiced for 16 years long in the forest life. And the mind becomes unconditioned now. And I can even love everyone unconditionally. When you can love everyone unconditionally, then you start feeling happy. Everybody's like your family members. Everybody's like your brothers and sisters. When you are in the family, you're confined. You are as if detained in the family hand. You can't move freely. But when you let go of everything as much as possible, very wisely, without fear and worry, then you start feeling happy. This is the way that the Buddha thought. This is the reason why Prince Siddhartha left his family. It doesn't mean to leave them irresponsibly. It doesn't mean to leave them without any kindness and compassion, but leave them wisely to try to find the way how he should practice happily in everyday life and how he should try to share this way of life with the rest of the world. And this is how I got it from the Buddha. Now you ask the same question, how shall we live happily in everyday life? And remember, life is very conditioned. I said that life is very conditioned. You will probably think the monk life is much better than the lay people. It is not. Believe me, I have been practicing for 30 years long. You will think, if you think monk life is better than and happier than normal life, it is not. It is not true. Believe me, I have been practicing for more than 30 years this Vipassana meditation practice and abandoned my everything. And now I'm I found a way how I have to be happy. As I said, when you really abandon, when you let go of everything unconditionally, and then you start feeling happy, you enjoy life. Life becomes meaningful when you let go everything, because that attachment makes you confined. That attachment makes you prison, and you are living in the prison of attachment. Everybody's living in the prison of attachment in everyday life. They cannot move away from the family. They cannot move away from their house, home, their relatives, and society. And they can't open themselves. They try to close themselves down. When you try to abandon everything, when you let go of everything, then you start feeling happy. I enjoy it a lot. But at the same time, now I try to take care of people like the Buddha. The Buddha practiced in the forest for 6 years long. For 6 years long, very diligently, very, enthusiastically, and very generously. He tried to put into practice for 6 years long without eating, without enjoying any, secular happiness and secular wealth, sensual happiness, sensual pleasure. He didn't enjoy anything, but he tried to practice in a very simple life and simplicity. Eat 1 meal a day, sleep very less, limited time, and keep and practice this meditation. Put this meditation practice in. Then he tried to, be himself, get the mind back, and concentrate on everything what's present moment, happen, rising and passing away. And he didn't, as I said, we live sometimes in the future, sometimes in the past. We mostly live in the past and in the future. We don't live at the present moment. That makes us unhappy. Nowadays, many scientists, many scholars, many philosophers, many educated people understand this. We are not living at the present moment. This is the reason why we are suffering, why we are not happy. We live in the past, we live in the future. And the past and future make us unhappy. The past is already gone, the future is not yet. These are not real life, but the present moment is real life. And the present moment is the middle way, the middle way. And don't get involved in that happiness when you experience a happy condition, and don't get involved in anger when you are experienced with angry condition. Believe me, and this is the way that I practice. You have to experience happy and unhappy condition in the life. As I say, it's not possible to always be happy. It's not possible to always be happy because we live in a conditioned world. However, the Buddha said there is a way. There's a way that can lead us to unconditioned happiness. It is the way when you really let go of everything wisely. But you need to practice. Without practice, it's impossible. Everybody needs to train. Everybody needs to train when they learn something. Without training, you cannot become a doctor. Without training, you cannot become a nurse. Without training, you cannot even become a good monk. And I have to just brief my talk now. And the question is how we should live happily in everyday life. This is the question. And here what I want to emphasize, highlight, make you remember is life is very conditioned. It is not possible to always live happily. This is very important. We are living in between happy and unhappy condition, and positive and negative phenomena, and positive and negative emotions, positive and negative energy. We cannot avoid those. And don't create your life as a happy one by hiding the reality that you face in everyday life. Probably such as bitter feeling, disappointment, anger, ill will, hatred. Don't try to hide them, but see them as they are wisely. This is what meditation is. This is the most important part of the Buddha's teaching. When you are feeling unhappy, don't run away. Don't turn your eyes to the other way, but see it as it is. When you are experiencing unhappy, bitter, angry phenomena, condition, see as it is, observe as it is. It is impermanent nature. Whenever condition, happy or unconditioned happy, every condition is impermanent. So remember, we are living in between that conditions, negative, positive, happy, unhappy, those conditions. We are living there. But we have a way that the Buddha taught. We have a way that can lead us to the unconditioned happiness. Living in the condition. This is how I want to share. And also this is how I live in the society. Even if you are a monk, I live in the forest for more than 30 years in the forest, or more than 16 years. I live as a monk more than 30 years by practicing this mindfulness Vipassana meditation. Without practice, you will never become a good doctor. You will never become a good nurse. You will never become a professor, doctor, teacher. Even you will never become a monk without training and practicing. You need to practice. That practice makes me happy. Of course, I have to live in the conditioned world. Sometimes I have to be happy. Sometimes I have to be unhappy. At that moment, this is important. At that moment, don't get involved in happiness, grasping this is mine. Then you will be suffering. And you have to see the happy condition as it is. You have to observe that happy condition as it is. In the middle. In the middle. Don't get involved in the happy and unhappy, past and the future. Stay in the middle. Stay in the present. Present is the middle way. When you are skillful, living at the present moment by being aware of whatever rises and passes away. That moment is living at the present moment. That moment is living in the middle way. This is what the Buddha taught. This is what the Buddha taught. We are always the edge of the past and the edge of the future. The edge of happiness and the edge of unhappiness. We live there. But when the Buddha came to the world, don't live there. Live in the present moment. Let them go. The past is already gone. The future is not yet. Don't dream them. Don't dream them. Then learn from the past and, don't dream too much the future. Don't expect too much for tomorrow. Live here at the moment, right here and right now. It is called middle way. Middle way. In Pali, Majjhima Patipada. And you have to observe when you're feeling happiness. Don't get involved in that happiness. See it is conditioned. It will be disappear. Please see as it is and let it go. And stay in the middle again. When you are condition, angry condition, and don't get involved in that. Don't get involved in that. At that moment, you have to be mindfully observing. You have to live by mindfully observing that happy condition, angry state of mind. That is condition. That will be impermanent. That will change. That will disappear later. Then stay in the middle again. Don't get involved. Don't go with them. Stay in the middle again. Let them go. Stay in the middle. Let them go. Stay in the middle. This is how we should live happily in everyday life. Otherwise, we have no way. We have no way to live happily in everyday life because we are a subcondition. And we have to accept sometimes we must be happy, sometimes we must be unhappy. That we need the way to learn how to live with those kind of happy and unhappy conditions. Now the Buddha teaches, observe when you are feeling happy, observe that state is impermanent, and don't get involved in it. See as it is and let it go. And when you are unhappy, observe that unhappy state of mind condition, and that is condition, that is impermanent, that will be disappear later, and let it go. Stay in the middle, stay in the middle, stay in the middle. This is what we call mindfulness-based Vipassana meditation. This is the way that I teach. This is the way how we should live. Yeah, this is the answer to the first question: how we should live happily in everyday life. Second question is how Vipassana can help us in everyday life. And this is also a good question. This is already I explained it. When you practice Vipassana, when you practice mindfulness-based Vipassana meditation, this is very well known to the world nowadays. Nobody feels strange to that mindfulness. But I try to teach people mindfulness-based Vipassana meditation. This is correct method taught by the Buddha. And I'm teaching this technique to everywhere I go. And everywhere I'm invited. And so Vipassana can help us how we should live happily, regardless of religion, regardless of faith and belief. Vipassana is the technique that makes us how we should live in the life. That doesn't concern any faith and belief. That doesn't force anyone to believe in, but it is the technique how we should apply in everyday life to be happy. So this is the two questions and my answer to those questions. I hope you get it. And the line is not very good in Burma. I have to switch up as soon as possible. Please don't go to live in the past. Don't go to live in the future. Learn from the past. Let them go. Dream the past, but let them practice here better you can, the best you can. Dreaming for the future. But do it here right now and right here. And also live in the middle. Live in the present. Living at the present means living at the middle way. When you follow the middle way, you'll be happy. And because you can see them as they are, you can see them as they let them go. This is the way. This is the way that I live. And this is the way that I share with you. Or no, this is the way that the Buddha shared with us. I hope you get it. May all of you feel happy. May all of you live happily by observing those kind of happiness and conditioned states of mind. And by letting them go, not getting involved in those kind of things, and see and observe them as they are, and be happy. I hope you enjoy it.